on Thursday, and we will be reviewing the initial programming and setup of those machines with the anticipation that those machines will be installed within the next 2 weeks. So we are moving right along with that project. And then the annex window project that kicked off this morning with a little bit of a hiccup, but we will continue in that project and hopefully get everything buttoned up. In our fire department, a couple things to report. The smokehouse that you appropriated money for, along with the task organization, donated $5,000. That smokehouse was delivered this past week. It was much larger than what we had anticipated. We are not able to set it up in our own bay where the ladder truck's at. It's the garage door opener. So we may talk to Pam. We'd like to take it out to transit and maybe set it up. Looks like we've already had that conversation. But we want to be able to set it up and do our own, put our own touches to it. And just to let everyone know, I think the first evening that will be available for the public to see and the kids to go through will be out at the Darke County Sheriff's Patrol Home and Sports Show on April the 6th through the 8th. We've been asked to set up a display and have the kids go through that while they're out there. So we look forward to that opportunity. The other thing in the fire department, and I would like to, and this is just for your own knowledge, if you would just take a look at it and pass it around. I believe Mr. Schmidt acknowledged at the last council meeting, after I had discussed the incident out at the Colonial Trailer Park, that the City of Greenville Fire Department offers a smoke detector program where citizens of the City of Greenville, any citizen, can call the fire department and request a smoke detector, and we just ask that they fill out this application. And in some cases, if the resident or property owner does not have the means to install that smoke detector, we have them sign a small disclaimer and the fire department will install that smoke detector for them. With all that being said, since the last meeting, we've had an opportunity to partner with the Darke County American Red Cross. And the Red Cross has a program that they are purchasing smoke detectors, and the smoke detectors that they're purchasing have a 10-year battery self-contained in the smoke detector, and they are giving us 30 and said, as you install these, have that paper filled out, and when you give us a paper, we'll replace that smoke detector. So it's a neat program, and we've entered that memorandum of understanding with the Red Cross, and just, you know, as a public service announcement, put that opportunity out to all Greenville residents. So in our police department, yesterday we had the opportunity to participate in the swearing-in ceremony for Matthew Prickett. Matthew was recently employed by the Darke County Sheriff's Department, so he comes experienced. We look for him to rapidly progress through his field training, and we can get him released and out on the road as soon as possible. Other items of interest in the police department, I put 2 down, but it was actually 3 as of this past weekend. I wanted to call your attention, and I guess a side note before I get to this, as I say call your attention, I also want to call your attention to both the police and the fire department have revamped their monthly reports. If you all had an opportunity to take a look at those, you can see that there's much more color, information. It's inviting. You want to read it, and you want to see what's going on. It's not just a bunch of numbers that you might question, what does that mean? So we try to put it in layman's terms that everyone, not just up here on council, but all citizens will have the opportunity to read that and decipher that information and just see what it is that the police and fire departments do for our city. So with that being said, there are 3 calls of interest that I'd like to make you aware of that happened within our police department, probably over the last 30 days, one of which happened this weekend. We've had the Walgreens robbery, we've had a barricaded individual on 12th Street, and then this past weekend we had a pursuit that started over, I believe in the Walnut Street area, down 3rd, 4th, then over to Water Street, then an individual at a high rate of speed didn't make the turn at Water and Vine, crashed into a car, and then chose to fled the scene on foot. That subject was apprehended, unfortunately, in the process. An officer was injured, sustained an arm injury, but the situation was resolved. And the reason I call those three specific incidences to your attention is that all three of those situations, the City of Greenville Police Department and the Darke County Sheriff's Department worked in conjunction with one another, and we were able to resolve those situations. So with point number 2 there, I'm just going to read this verbatim. You know, the ability of our two departments, that being the City Police Department and the Darke County Sheriff's Department, their ability to communicate via radio is paramount to the safety of our employees and the safety of our citizens. Although the administration and elected officials of both the city and the county choose to, quote unquote, do business differently, the goal of both departments is to get the job done and to go home, for our employees to go home safely to their families each day. Therefore, a recent decision made by the county elected officials not to seek input from the city related to the countywide communications will not in any way, and I stress this to council and to our citizens, that will not in any way detour both departments from achieving their goal. So with that said, we appreciate their help, and we will most definitely assist them any way that we can when requested. And then with the last note in our police department, just to let you know, there, with the recent promotion of Lieutenant Roberts, there has been some more internal changes, and a couple of those changes, Ryan Benji has been reassigned from the road to the detective's position, and most likely Detective Benji will oversee the any of the drug investigations within the city of Greenville. And then Eric Curryluck, who's also a detective, he has been assigned the property room in addition to his detective duties, as Lieutenant Roberts used to take care of the property room. Being a lieutenant is a monumental task in and of itself, and asking him to do the property room duties was just a little much. So we reassigned that to Detective Curryluck, and look forward to both of those individuals succeeding in their positions. And then the last item I'd like to cover this evening, and this is an item that I usually will, about this time every year, come to council with a request. Within the past 2 weeks, we had a meeting with Vectren, and Vectren plans on completing 3 of their bare steel projects this year within the city. And I have it down further on my list, and I'll just go ahead and note those areas now. The area of Central, Harrison, and Bucova, all south of Fair Street, East 3rd Street from Broadway to Tecumseh, and then Central, Wayne, and Sater in the area of Fair to Walker Streets. All 3 of these projects will affect approximately 301 different services, so that equates to 301 properties. They look to start at the end of February and be completed by July. However, I would tell you, in dealing with the various variables that occur during these projects and the jobs in other cities, their timeline really never works out that way. However, I do anticipate they'll start in February. Our normal permit fee is $50 for an opening. And what we call an opening is any work on any particular property. Even though they may have 3 holes, we consider that one opening. We charge $50 as a permit fee. And then our normal bond, actually I can't even give you what the normal bond range would be because our contractor bond, I believe, only goes up to like 50 openings for a certain dollar amount. So I guess we could say it would be whatever that amount is times 6. In the past, what we've done is we have considered this one project for Vectren. Council has passed a resolution that requires Vectren to purchase a $100,000 bond to cover all 3 projects. And then the council has reduced the permit fee from $50 to $25 per opening. That has been the norm. We collectively, the mayor, myself, Chad from the planning and zoning, have had conversations with Vectren that we totally understand the need to update Vectren gas lines within our city. However, their projects of replacing their infrastructure is a cost to the city. What is that cost? That cost is disrupted streets, deteriorated streets. And we know as a council and an administration that streets are our biggest asset. Probably costs more to replace every single street in the city of Greenville than it would to replace any other one single item in the city. What are we talking here? If we charged Vectren, I believe the normal amount for a permit, it would be $300 times 50. So we divide that by 2, and that's all we would be charging. It's in a relationship to paving a street, it's not a lot of money. However, I think as a city, and we've been doing that vocally to Vectren, requiring them to do their repairs to their openings maybe a little bit differently, requiring more work to be done. But we run into a situation with Martin Street. I don't know if you all have received any complaints from citizens, but when I read various or hear various conversations about dilapidated streets in the city of Greenville, Martin is one of the first streets that comes up in that discussion. And as we're all well aware, that was Vectren's last project, and they're still not done. They have not completed that 2017 project. And what I mean by that, and this goes to the requirements that we are, as a city, as an administration, are putting on Vectren, we are requiring them, we've asked them, and they've agreed to, I guess when I say require, to pave half of Martin Street. And I can't give you the exact streets, how far down we're going. We're not going all the way to Ohio, but we're going about halfway between Ohio and Green Street, and they're going to pave the northbound lane. They're going to mill it all out, and they're going to repave the westbound lane. And that is just simply because there are so many openings to just do a spot repair. It's not good enough, and it's a main arterial street. So we've made that request. Now they have agreed to it, and they've agreed that it will get done this spring. So we're still at a wait and see. So I guess I'm throwing a lot out there this evening as it relates to that, to Vectren. Would like to know, do you want to continue as business as usual with how we work with Vectren? Would you like to take a different stance on the permitting process and maybe the permitting fees? But I want you to be aware of what our concerns are and how we are trying to rectify those concerns.
Kurt, what kind of teeth do we have in this agreement?
We really have no, it's Vectren's infrastructure. It's in the public right-of-way. We can charge them a permit to access the right-of-way, to dig it up and put it back the way they found it, I guess, or better than what they found it. But we can't just say, hey, stop. You can't do that. So we really have no teeth in that aspect. As far as if they don't put it back the way we want it, all we have to fall back on is that bond. If they were to say, no, hey, your request is absurd, then we fight a bond company. And I don't think that's not productive for any of us if we have to do that. I will throw this out. They have, they've come across as sincere in what their intentions are. We just haven't seen the follow through yet.
We'll see, huh?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see what any other cities are doing. I mean, if we're in line or if we're way off.
Yeah, what we're told by Vectren, and I have not reached out to other city managers to confirm this, is that all of the municipalities are working with them in some form to reduce it. Your smaller communities don't even have requirements like this. They just come in and do what they do, and nobody even inspects what they put back. Now, when you go into a Troy, a Tip City, a Greenville, city of Dayton, obviously, there's a little more.
Yeah, obviously it's different.
Oversight.
Well, 300 openings at $25 a pop is what,
$7,500. So you're talking 15,000.
Yeah.
Which again, $7,500 difference is not going to I'm not even gonna pave half a street.
Right.
But it does send a message. It's, I guess you just have to perceive whether that message is a positive message or a negative message.
And maybe get to the place where within one street, you have so many hole openings that maybe it qualifies to, hey, you gotta pave it. Maybe that's some kind of criteria you look at. And then just another comment on the damage to our streets with that, and that it's not just the openings, that it's also the traffic, that their use, because they drive heavy machinery down those streets, and there's a lot of the streets that they're working on are not in great shape already. So when you start getting heavy equipment back and forth every day, it tears them up pretty good. So that's one thing we're looking at also. So
Harrison, just south of Walker, I believe that was an early project last year. We're at the end of 2016. And yeah, the holes in the street, or where they pothole to expose the various city utilities, that's not that big of a deal. But if you recall, when they've worked in that area, their storage area has always been the old railroad bed. And they run their loaders up and down, whether they're working in the yards and backfilling the gravel, or if it's a gravel for sidewalk, they're running that loader up and down that street, those dump trucks up and down that street all day long. And it's that wear and tear that also continues to deteriorate our streets. And you can't charge a permit fee or an opening fee or even go back on a bond, I don't believe, for that. So there's so many, there's accessory causes that just continue to damage our biggest asset. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Now, I will say this. Vectren has been good to work with from the standpoint of, not all of you have seen it, but just kind of let you know, each year we have a 5-year plan right now of what streets we want to pave and when we want to pave them. And we've given that list to Vectren. So Vectren has done their best to look at our list of streets that are going to be repaved and pick those areas to do these types of jobs in, so that we're not paving and then a year later they're coming back and tearing up our streets. But some of the work that they're doing right now, like Martin Street, we're out 2020 on that project, so we can't make that last 5 more years or 2 more years. So as they're looking to get started, I would like a recommendation from council on how to proceed with legislation, if there's any changes. If you want to move forward with having the law director draft the legislation, or if not, I can let Vectren know that as well.
It's council's prerogative here. Your call.
Do the same way we've been doing it.
Are you satisfied with what Vectren has told you?
I will be when it's done. It's one of those, Doug, where they look at you and say, trust me, it will get done.
They've got a public image they want to maintain as well, so.
Absolutely.
I would kind of maybe recommend looking at this for next year, but I really hate to switch right now. I mean, if we're talking about doing work here in a couple weeks, I don't feel comfortable, changing right here in the middle of the game, I guess.
Okay.
That's kind of my opinion too.
I agree with that.
See how it goes, too.
Okay. So the consensus is have law director prepare legislation for the next meeting
Yeah.
for a $25 permit fee and a $100,000 bond. Okay?
And I think we should maybe review it later in the year to.
Okay.
After we see how it works.
See
That's
how
fine.
it goes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
With that, Mr. Council President, I will pass.
Okay, thank you, sir. Law Director, Mr. Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Burkett, I pass.
And City Auditor, Mrs. Wellman.
I pass as well.
Oh, thank you.
Moving on.
Okay, this particular point, members of council and the audience, I'm going to invoke the chair's prerogative here. We have 13 pieces of legislation to consider tonight. And down under new business is a zoning amendment recommendation from the Zoning and Planning Commission regarding representatives from the Brethren Retirement Community from UR Urban Residential to SU Special Use. We have some representatives here, and if if it's okay with council, I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules and move the agenda to item K under new business
So moved.
at the present. Okay?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Howdashell to suspend the rules and move to new business. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Howdashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Okay. That way you gentlemen won't have to sit through 13 pieces of legislation. So, if you will, please, clerk, read the recommendation here.
A letter dated January 24th, 2018. Honorable members of council, the Planning and Zoning Commission at their January 16th, 2018 meeting voted to recommend to City Council to rezone specific parcels from UR Urban Residential to SU Special Use Healthcare, as requested by Brethren Retirement Community. This request involves the final two properties that were referenced in the previous recent zoning amendments. The parcel identification numbers are listed. This recommendation is made as instructed in the zoning regulations, Article 5 amendments. City Council will now need to schedule the required public hearing as instructed in Section 5.06A of the zoning text. Attached are the minutes from the January 16th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting and the zoning amendment packet submitted by the applicant. Sincerely, Stephen Willman, Chairman.
Okay. Would Mr. Wilbund, as chairman of the zoning committee, or members from the Brethren Retirement Community want to speak to this issue, or we just, at this particular time, we would go ahead and set the public hearing like the one we just had earlier for March the 20th, which will give us our 30 days plus time. So what's, can't do it on the first meeting, can we? Not enough time. So any questions or comments or recommendations?
I mean, yes, from a planning and zoning, that we all like the plan. It looks good. It's a wonderful project that they're putting on, and we appreciate them keeping business in town and opening up new places for people to stay. I think it's a great idea. And we did have somebody come in an open session and address some concerns, just like the other one on Mr. Everman's property, that a little bit of traffic or something like that, but it's I don't see any problem with that. So I certainly believe that we should look at this as going forward, and I think it's a great plan. So,
Okay. Anyone else? Any questions from members of council? Okay, so we will set that public hearing for March 20th. Council night. You bet. Thank you. Not that you aren't welcome to stay, but you guys are on the clock, and I hate to see you get so much overtime.
Mr. Council President,
Yes.
just one small, minute little detail.
Yes, sir.
That's 28 days,
So what, the March 20th?
from February 20th to, no, never mind. Sorry.
Erase that.
I'm wake up.
Don't scare me like that. Okay, thank you.
I thought today was.
Okay, now that that item is cleared, we'll move back to the agenda under ordinances resolution. Item number 1 on ordinance is the supplemental appropriation.
Hold up progress.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. This ordinance authorizes appropriations to the general fund for CIP transfers, elected auditor and treasurer in the amount of $181,000. These funds are needed to transfer from the general fund to the CIP fund for the 4th Schweitzer Street reconstruction projects, and to the Law Enforcement Assistance Fund for Travel and Education Law Enforcement Assistance in the amount of $8,800. These funds represent a training grant from the Ohio Attorney General's Office. To the CIP Fund for Roadway Enhancement CIP in the amount of $181,000. These funds are needed in conjunction with an OPWC grant for the 4th Schweitzer Street reconstruction project and represent the city's 20% match money.
Mr. Council President, I move to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Howdashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Motion to adopt. Was it? Oh. I'm running behind here. Okay. Next, we have an ordinance establishing wages for various employees of the City of Greenville not covered by wage and agreement and declaring an emergency.
An ordinance establishing wages, salaries for the various employees of the City of Greenville not covered by wage agreements and declaring an emergency. This ordinance establishes wages including a 2.5% cost of living increase for Police Lieutenant Scott Ross, effective as the first full pay of 2018. This ordinance has an emergency clause.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules and read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
An ordinance establishing wages, salaries for the various employees of the City of Greenville not covered by wage agreements and declaring an emergency. An ordinance establishing wages, salaries for the various employees of the City of Greenville not covered by wage agreements and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt the emergency clause?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the emergency clause. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mrs. Howdishell to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Okay, next we have an ordinance authorizing entry into police vehicle service agreement with the Dark County Commissioners.
An ordinance authorizing entry into a police vehicle service agreement with the Dark County Commissioners. This ordinance authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into an agreement with the Dark County Commissioners for the service and maintenance of city police department vehicles.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this ordinance by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mrs. Howdishell to suspend the rules and read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing entry into a police vehicle service agreement with the Dark County Commissioners. An ordinance authorizing entry into a police vehicle service agreement with the Dark County Commissioners.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion.
I got a question on that.
Yep.
What does this entail? I mean,
Okay, this is the second year for this agreement. Approximately a year ago, Tom Stevenson, who owned and operated an auto repair shop on Meeker Road.
Yeah.
Tom's primary customers have been public safety agencies, namely the Dark County Sheriff's Department, City of Greenville Police. A lot of the other municipalities would use Tom for the maintenance on their police cruisers. Tom was going to go out of business, just couldn't keep his doors open. The county took it upon themselves to hire Tom as an employee, and they continued to pay the rent on his building. And as Tom became an employee of the county, now the county is the one that has to bill for services.
okay.
So this agreement sets forth those rates. And now Tom works out of the old ODOT garage
Oh, okay.
on Martin Street.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Further discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
That's passed. Okay. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicle.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicle. This resolution authorizes the sale on govdeals.com of a 2001 Dodge Caravan formerly used in conjunction with operations of the mayor's office, but is no longer needed for any municipal purpose.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicle. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicle.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mrs. Hottishell to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
And next we have a resolution authorizing disposition of no longer needed dump truck.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed dump truck. This resolution authorizes the sale on govdeals.com of a 1997 GMC dump truck formerly used in conjunction with operations of the Park Department, but is no longer needed for any municipal purpose.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this resolution by title only for the second and third time.
Motion by Mrs. Hottishell to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed dump truck. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed dump truck.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution authorizing the submission of a proposal with Ohio Department of Transportation for Ohio Elderly and Disabled Program grants.
A resolution authorizing submission of proposals with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants for other than urbanized areas, the Ohio Elderly and Disabled Transit Fare Assistance Program, and execution of a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposal acceptance for calendar year 2019. This resolution authorizes the mayor to execute and submit a proposal with the Ohio Department of Transportation for a grant for the Ohio Elderly and Disabled Transit Fare Assistance Program for calendar year 2019.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution reading by title second, third time.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing submission of proposals with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants for other than urbanized areas, the Ohio Elderly and Disabled Transit Fare Assistance Program, and execution of a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposal acceptance for calendar year 2019. A resolution authorizing submission of proposals with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants for other than urbanized areas, the Ohio Elderly and Disabled Transit Fare Assistance Program, and execution of a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposal acceptance for calendar year 2019.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mrs. Hottishell to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing the Public Transportation Director to purchase equipment through ODOT grant.
A resolution authorizing the Public Transportation Director to purchase through the Ohio Department of Transportation State Administrative Services in conjunction with the 2019 grant proposal, certain equipment used in connection with the City Public Transportation Program. This resolution authorizes the Public Transportation Director to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation contracts and the Ohio State Administration contracts in conjunction with the 2019 grant application for the purchase of equipment and administrative services during calendar year 2019.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Public Transportation Director to purchase through the Ohio Department of Transportation State Administrative Services in conjunction with the 2019 grant proposal, certain equipment used in connection with the City Public Transportation Program. A resolution authorizing the Public Transportation Director to purchase through the Ohio Department of Transportation State Administrative Services in conjunction with the 2019 grant proposal, certain equipment used in connection with the City Public Transportation Program.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Hottishell to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
why did you wait so long to do this? I mean, it's only February. You should have done this in January for 2019. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Ms. Carl. Okay, next we have a resolution authorizing contract with Oaks Engineering LLC for professional engineering.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Oaks Engineering LLC for the rendering of professional engineering services in 2018. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Oaks Engineering LLC for the rendering of professional civil engineering services in 2018.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this resolution by title only the second, third time?
Motion from Mrs. Haudashelt to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Haudashelt?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Oaks Engineering LLC for the rendering of professional engineering services in 2018. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Oaks Engineering LLC for the rendering of professional engineering services in 2018.
Motion to adopt this resolution?
Motion by Mr. Godwin to adopt the resolution. Discussion.
Yes, what projects are they gonna be working on specifically?
I can't answer that question. This is a contract that establishes an hourly rate and a not to exceed a number of $10,000. So as projects come up in 2018, we will seek out their services. It's similar to what we do with Choice One Engineering. We've established a contract with them. Choice One primarily does our civil engineering. Oaks Engineering is specific to traffic needs, so if that's what you were looking for.
Yes.
Yeah, so they will answer any questions that we have as it relates to traffic signals, traffic studies, so on and so forth.
Further discussion? Call roll.
Haudashelt?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Next, we have resolution authorizing contract with American Air Balance, doing business, or NEBB testing, adjusting, and balancing.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with American Air Balance LLC. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with American Air Balance LLC for materials and services associated with the NEBB testing, adjusting, and balancing in the municipal building.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Haudashelt?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with American Air Balance LLC. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with American Air Balance LLC.
Can I ask a question? What exactly is this?
This contract is in conjunction with our HVAC project. So we've hired a contractor to come in and install equipment per what our engineer has designed. Once the equipment is up and running, this company will actually come in and do testing. They test the airflow. Airflow's measured in units called CCFs. They have the devices and the equipment that they can put a device right up next to a diffuser or in the middle of a room, and it will then be determined, yes, the contractor did what they were supposed to and the equipment is performing in the necessary manner. We hired this individual because they're, I guess a good example would be they're an inspector to the contractor that we hired. They're inspecting their work, so we would not want the contractor to go out and hire their own inspector. So we've hired this, and this was anticipated when we started the project. So
Now, we need a motion to.
Motion
adopt.
to accept or adopt this resolution?
Motion by Mrs. Haudashelt to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call roll.
Haudashelt?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
testing, adjusting, and balances. Do we get new valve stem and white walls with that?
You do.
While we're at it.
And a wash and wax while we're at it.
Good.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
All the cruisers are gonna have white walls.
Styling.
Okay, next where are we? Resolution authorizing contract,
10.
for the purchase of Marks radios equipment.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract for the purchase of Marks equipment. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with J&K Communications Incorporated for equipment and services associated with Multi-Agency Radio Communications System, MARCS, for the police and fire departments through the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Move to suspend the rules, give this second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract for the purchase of Marks equipment. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract for the purchase of Marks equipment.
Move to adopt this resolution.
Mrs. Howdyshell to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
And item 11, the resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed engineering equipment.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed engineering equipment. This resolution authorizes the sale on govdeals.com of equipment formerly used in conjunction with operations of the Planning and Zoning Department.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed engineering equipment. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed engineering equipment.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the resolution. Discussion.
They ever gonna sell their Ford Explorer they got
Yes,
sometime?
sometime.
Further discussion? Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
And item 12, resolution authorizing contract with Hall and Associates Incorporated, rendering of professional consulting services.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Hall and Associates Incorporated for the rendering of professional consulting services. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Hall and Associates Incorporated for the rendering of professional consulting services for the landfill.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this resolution by title only for second, third time.
Mr. Howdyshell to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Hall and Associates Incorporated for the rendering of professional consulting services. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Hall and Associates Incorporated for the rendering of professional consulting services.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
And lucky 13. Resolution approving contract with ODOT for the reconstruction of 4th Schweitzer Streets.
A resolution approving a contract with ODOT for the reconstruction of 4 Schweitzer streets. This resolution approves a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation for the reconstruction of 4 Schweitzer streets, including pavement reconstruction, curb and gutter, sidewalk, curb ramps, signing, and pavement markings lying within the city of Greenville.
Move to suspend the rules and read the ordinance by, resolution by title only for second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution approving a contract with ODOT for the reconstruction of 4 Schweitzer streets. A resolution approving a contract with ODOT for the reconstruction of 4 Schweitzer streets.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Who was that, Leon? Okay. Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion.
One question, they give a date roughly when they want to start, or?
Well, we don't know when they want to start because we have not bid the project yet. The project will bid out later this month. And if I may just take a little time of explanation. So what you're approving tonight, you already approved the appropriation, then we're going to enter into contract. This project is an 80-20. ODOT's paying 80, the city pays 20. So ODOT wants our 20% on the front end. They've already established by engineer's estimate how much this project will cost. So they've done the math and figured out what our 20% should be. So before they bid the project, they want to make sure we either put that money in escrow or we write them a check and hand deliver it. We plan on writing the check tomorrow and hand delivering it so we can bid the job later this month. So, and then just to let you know, of that 20% that we're responsible for, and I forget the exact numbers, I believe it was around 340,000 or 360,000 was from the Ohio Public Works grant that we obtained over a year ago. That grant is 450,000. We expect that because we've added street lighting, that this project will cost more than what was originally anticipated. We will recoup the rest of our $450,000 at the end of the project when it's all said and done. If for any reason it comes in under, which would be great, we will apply our grant to the wastewater work that was already done. So no fear, we will be able to maximize our $450,000 from the state of Ohio.
Very good.
Where are we here?
Move to adopt.
Motion to adopt by
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. Okay. Call the roll, please.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Okay, that concludes ordinance and resolutions, nothing under old, and we've already disposed of the information under new business, so communication.
Monthly reports were received from the following departments: Fire Department, Income Tax Department, Police Department, Street Department, and Transit Department. And an email was received from Public Transportation Director Pam Garland stating her appreciation to council for the cost of living increase. These reports and email have been distributed to council.
I don't see a, huh? There, council president's signature on there, it's on, all I can see is the clerk and mayor. Oh. So you've read the communications, hold down the council.
Mrs. Hoddeshell?
I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and please be careful out there on the roads. They are slick. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And with that, I pass.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes, I too would like to thank everybody for coming up tonight and learning what city government's all about, or trying to, or whatever, and so welcome. And with that, I pass.
Mr. Schmidt?
I'll pass.
Mr. Whitaker?
I promise that I will bring a calendar with me next meeting so I don't mess up. With that, I'll pass.
Mr. Wright?
I'll pass.
Mr. Godwin?
Again, thank everybody for coming up tonight, and that'll pass.
Mr. Hensley?
I will pass.
President Burkett?
Wow, January's gone already, 2018, can you believe that?
February's half gone.
So, yeah, happy Valentine's Day to all the sweethearts out there, and,
Thank you.
yeah, you're quite welcome.
He wasn't talking to you.
And especially my sweetheart.
See?
That, okay, I would entertain a motion that we rise to executive session.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Schmidt to rise to executive session for the first item 21.22G2, which is sale or purchase of property. Discussion. Roll, please.
Addishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yep.
Thank you all for coming. We'll stay in a short recess while we shut down the TV.